Hello students, welcome to the Focus 2 Career Assessment tutorial. We are going to go through how to create a new account and what to do once you've created that account. The first step is to enter the access code, which you can find on our website, but for reference, it is Massasoit with a capital M. From there, you enter your first and last name, your email address. This can be your personal or your Massasoit email address, up to you, your username and password. You also want to enter in your student status, if you've decided on a major, as well as how you heard about us, and the acknowledgement. Once you've done all that, you can go ahead and click Continue. Once you have created your account, this is what your dashboard will look like. You can see My Career Planning Involvement. This will ask you to rate to what extent are you with different questions. So I really encourage you to take your time and go through each of these to get accurate responses. Same thing with your academic strengths. Really take some time to think about all of these different options before you go ahead and submit them. And the same goes with Am I Career Ready? Same thing, it will ask you to score them from 1 to 5 with the stars and go through. It will also show you how far along you are in the process. Once you've completed your career planning foundations, which is really just to get the juices flowing and to make sure you're in the right mindset to move forward to what I say is the really fun part, the self-assessment tools. I really like all of these self-assessment tools because they're broken down into different areas. They ask you about your work interests, your personality, who you are as a person, your leisure activities, what you like to do in your spare time, your values, your skills, and then you combine them all. So you may get different results in each, but at the end, it combines all of those together. What you will want to do is your results are saved once you go through. You have some different options. If you've not completed it yet, it will simply just say Start. You can also start over at any time if you feel like you want to go back and restart your answers or change your answers, which if you're taking this today and you take it again in 6 months, a year from now, sometimes it's not a bad thing to start over because there may have been some different things that have changed some of your responses. Maybe you took a science class and now you have a huge interest in some of those areas where you didn't before. You can always review all of your questions at any point as well. I really encourage you to take your time on this. A 1 star should mean in your mind, you cannot pay me enough money to do this, right? Whereas a 5 star is, this sounds amazing, this sounds like a dream job to me. Or you may be somewhere in between. However, I do encourage you to really think about the 1 versus the 5 and don't put a 2 or 3 for everything because that is not going to give you accurate results. You really want some variety with your stars in this assessment. So again, once you go through and answer all of these questions, and it will show you how far along you are as you go through. Again, taking your time and really thinking about your answers as you're going through. Then it will allow you to finish. Sometimes what may happen is that there's a tie in your results, meaning that 2 areas gave you the same amount of responses. So you really want to take a moment and think about which best matches you as the top option. And then you continue. So these are called the Holland Code results. It's based on a theory called the Holland Code, which most career tests are. It will go through and below describe what all of these different areas of the Holland Code are. So again, this is rating you from the top to least. So at the bottom, these would be areas that are least interesting to you. Once you continue, it will again show you that Holland Code, but this is the really cool part. It also shows you occupations that match your results. So it will show you the occupation name. If it has a sun, it means it's a bright outlook. It means there's a lot of jobs in that area. And different majors that we have at Massasoit that relate to it. the U.S. national salary, keeping in mind Massachusetts obviously is going to be a bit higher, and the different job family that those jobs respond or correlate to. Again, you can review it. They're just in alphabetical order. You can also adjust it by the level of degree. So if you want to look at something that just requires a 2-year degree, you can update that. You can also go through and review each individual job. It will show you your work interest profile and how closely yours matches that position, different skills, values, work conditions, the education requirements. Again, what level of education is typically required for this type of profession, as well as what types of majors people typically go to school for. The outlook and the earnings. Again, here is the really cool part. You can search by state because, as we know, and I just said, Massachusetts is typically a bit higher. So it just gives you some information there about the profession. You can always save it as you're going through if that looks like something that's really exciting to you. Now, again, this is just that first assessment. We always hit the home button to go back, and you'll want to complete all 5 of these assessments. You will get different results for each of them, and that's the really neat thing is about the combine the assessments at the end. You'll want to combine all 5 of the assessments to see if there's any, as I say, 100% match. And that's not always the case. In this case, there's no occupation that appeared in 5 out of 5 of the assessments, or even in 4 out of the 5 assessments. But there's a lot that appeared in 3 out of 5. So these would be, according to this assessment, the top careers that you may be interested in. And again, it shows you all of these different areas at the top, and you can go through one by one and see which is interesting. I recommend really focusing in and saving between 3 and 5 of the top ones. Of course, you can save more. You don't want to save something like 50, but you really want to hone in and do some research here. This is where it does take some time to really go through and look through. I also want to make note of Explore the Possibilities. Explore the Possibilities is another great tool we have here. This lists our different majors at Massasoit. So what you can do is, say you are a business major, it will show you different occupations within that major. So it just breaks them all down a little differently. This is backward, or another option if I majored in, and these may be things that we don't necessarily have at Massasoit, but that we can guide you to get there as well. You can literally search any occupation, or this is one I really enjoy, occupation families, because let's say, for example, you know you want to work in the healthcare field and you don't want to be a nurse, but you want to see what other options are out there. This is a great way to see all of the different occupations within that field. So again, just some really great, valuable resources. Even if you know what you want to do for a major, I highly encourage you to go through this and use this tool just to verify or validate your results. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to us in the ACT Center. We are happy to help you go through this a little bit more. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.